It was a stormy night, and Daniel, a cab driver, was reluctantly working the night shift. His car headlights sliced through sheets of rain as he drove through empty streets, eager for his shift to end. As he was about to call it a night, his phone pinged with a new pickup location, a secluded area near the woods. A chill ran down his spine, but he reasoned it was just the bad weather getting to him. Pulling up to the darkened road, he saw a figure standing beneath a flickering streetlight. She was a young woman, drenched from head to toe, her long black hair plastered to her face. She wore an old-fashioned dress, tattered and worn as if she'd been wandering for days. "Going somewhere?" Daniel asked, trying to mask his unease. She looked at him with hollow, almost lifeless eyes and nodded, silently getting into the back seat. Her voice was a whisper, barely audible over the drumming rain. "Take me home." Daniel punched in the address she'd given him. It was an isolated house at the end of a narrow, winding road. He didn't want to drive through the woods this late, but something about her made him feel he shouldn't refuse. As he drove, he kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror, but her face was turned away, staring out into the dark. The rain pounded harder, and thunder rolled overhead. After a few minutes, he broke the silence with small talk, trying to ease his nerves. "So, you live around here?" he asked. No response. The silence grew thick. He checked the mirror again, but her face was still turned away. Finally, she spoke, her voice barely more than a breath. "Did you know, they say these woods are haunted?" A shiver crawled down his spine. He chuckled nervously. "People say a lot of things. Not this," she murmured. "They say, someone disappeared here long ago, a young woman. She never left. Her spirit wanders these roads, looking for a way back home." Daniel felt his stomach turn. He forced his gaze back on the road, gripping the wheel tightly. He was desperate to get this ride over with. Suddenly, his phone's GPS announced, arriving at destination. But there was no house, just an overgrown clearing at the end of the road. "We're here," he said, confused. The woman in the back seat turned toward him, her face now fully visible in the dim light. Her eyes were hollow, her skin pale and cracked, and her lips twisted into a ghostly smile. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'm finally home." In that instant, a bolt of lightning illuminated the car. He turned around, and she was gone. Only her wet footprints remained on the seat, fading into nothingness. Daniel, heart racing, stumbled out of the car and stared into the dark forest. There was no sign of her, just the oppressive silence of the woods. He turned back to his car, his mind reeling, only to find a torn, old newspaper sitting on the passenger seat. The headline read, "Young woman vanishes in woods. Body never recovered." And beneath the headline was a photo. The same woman who'd just been in his cab. This story should add a suspenseful, eerie atmosphere to your video, with visuals of the dark, rain-soaked streets, the ominous woods, and the gradual reveal of the mysterious passenger. Let me know if you need any adjustments.